And we're back. Had a little pause, couple weeks off, but we're back to our high protein meals and getting it basically made in our kitchen. As they say, the six pack is made in the kitchen, and I'm showing you exactly how we can do that. Tonight, we are making a very simple but cozy meal. It's a little cloudy out here in San Diego, and so I'm excited to make this because it's the fall season meal that most of you guys probably have already started making, and that's chili. That's going to be our high protein aspect, the high protein part of this meal, but we're going to keep it healthy. And if you are someone looking to lose weight, then this is going to be a meal that you definitely want to check out. So I'm going to do high protein chili with, instead of rice or potatoes, we're going to do sweet potatoes here. Now, I'm going to do sweet potatoes because I have been on this journey to lose some weight and it's been going fantastic. When I say fantastic, fantastic. I'm only about 4 pounds away from my ideal weight loss. Um, and that's been since I started this in August, and it's been doing very, very well. But one of the things that I absolutely would tell you that the reason I think I'm doing so great on this is because I have been absolutely crushing it when it comes to my meals and meal prepping and just what I'm eating. And that has been following a more high protein, low calorie kind of count. Watching what I'm eating, being careful about that. I'm not diabolical about it, meaning I'm not weighing everything, but I have a good guesstimate of what I'm eating and it's been working. So, if you are new to this channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have been following me all along, thank you so much and welcome back. So, what we're going to start tonight with, as I mentioned, is we are going to do a chili. Um, we're going to do chili over sweet potatoes. And I picked this meal because one, it is the fall season. So we're going to get into the chili. Two, it is a very simple meal that you can make after work like I'm doing right now. I haven't prepped anything except I've turned on the oven and I'm preheating the oven. But this is going to be a meal that you can make very quick, very simple, so that you can get into that weight loss. As I mentioned, I am working on high protein meals. And the high protein meals is what's getting me to drop that weight very quickly. Back in August, when I started this weight loss journey, I was 163 pounds, honestly. And I'm 5'6", and to me, that was a little too much. I have never been that big before. And so my goal was to get back to 145. But I didn't just want to lose weight I want to make sure I can lose the weight safely and that I can keep the weight off doing things that I would normally do. So I started working out every day, but doing really strength training in the morning. And then I really, really started researching and trying to figure out what I needed to eat so that I can really keep this weight off and still make it about a lifestyle. I'm also a very bougie chick. So I cannot have the same chicken 5 days a week. Like, I'm just sorry. I cannot. I love food and I didn't want to give up food just because I wanted to get here. So I just started focusing on high protein. And the high protein meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner have been working fantastic. My trick, write it down, is that if you meal prep your dinner, then you can take that to lunch for lunch the next day to work. So right there, you know that you're going to end up getting that high protein in the evenings and in your lunch meal. And then you just have to make something for breakfast. And so that is what we're doing tonight. We are going to jump in and create dinner for my family, but also make sure that it's going to be focused on my high protein. Thank you so much. I see Gary is in the house, Sharam and Rajiv. Thank you, Jacques. Thank you for the compliments, Gary. Okay, so we're doing chili, and everyone in America around this time of the year, chili is a big thing in the fall. It's a comfort food. So why not make it tonight for our comfort? So before I'm going to start with the chili, we're going to make it in sweet potatoes, right? So we're going to be topping our chili with we're topping our sweet potatoes with chili. And you want sweet potatoes because it's a complex carb and much better for you than if you're doing your white potatoes or rice and stuff like this. You want something that's going to break down a little slower and help with that. So I just got this from the supermarket. I'm going to get a sheet, baking sheet. And as I said, I am just coming from work, and like everyone who wants to come home to do a lot of cooking, not me. I want to curl up in my bed and read my book that I'm reading. Right now I'm reading Game of Thrones is the book that I'm reading. And it's actually really fascinating because I have watched Game of Thrones, but reading it is just, whew, it's just a whole different level of excitement. So I'm excited about that, but I want to make sure I get dinner together quickly. And so I figured tonight we can do some chili. So this is push you back a little bit. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going to try to get my foil paper out. And as I mentioned before, I haven't prepped anything because I want to show you on this channel that, I'm doing it just like how you would be doing it, right? Come home and trying to get things together. This is not a scenario of a perfect kitchen or a perfect anything, but you can still have that perfect meal, right? As I mentioned before, I know I'm what you would consider a little bougie. I like great food. I like my food to look like I paid a lot of money for it. And so preparing these things is part of that for me. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to flip you over a little bit, and I'm going to wash my sweet potatoes because I'm not going to have to peel these. Another easy way of making this a very quick and simple meal because you don't have to do any peeling. Hey, Nisi, how are you? Long time. I know. I have been off for about 2 weeks. I've just been doing a lot in the evening. So for me, it's been one of those things. But I'm back. And let me tell you, those last 2 weeks where I haven't been focusing on my meals and stuff, it's been hard trying to find food that is, hits the mark. I swear, eating out is just not it. Eating out is just not it at all. So I'm definitely trying to make up for my last 2 weeks of, we try to buy some food when we're not cooking, trying to buy food, but I need that high protein count, and it's just been, it's just not. So what we're doing tonight is going back to the basics, right? And as I mentioned before, the basics are about high protein. High protein, trying to get hopefully maybe about 35 grams of protein in each meal, which is kind of what will help me out. This seems to be old, so I'm going to do this. So I'm making enough for dinner for 4 and lunch for 2. Because my husband and I would eat this for lunch, and the kids normally do not like it the next day. So it's all good. I'm just going to keep here clean, try to do all of this stuff here. So let me know in the comments if you are, the end of the year is coming quickly. Are you trying to hit a weight loss goal, or you're just like, you've given up? And right now you're just trying to make it through the end of the year. I am, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am about 4 pounds away from hitting that goal. I want to be 145 pounds, which is normally where I'm comfortable, at 145 pounds. And for me, that 163 a couple of months ago scared me a little bit. And I was just like, I need to get this together. But I'm not a person that likes working out like that. I have started liking the weight training a little more these days, but I'm also just someone like, I go to the gym because I have no choice, you know? But I would tell you, one of the things that I started doing recently is Nisi, you holding steady at 145. That's awesome. That's exactly where I want to be at. One of the things that I started doing is playing pickleball. And ooh, guys, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with that. I am definitely like, I love it, love it, love it. I would be there today, but I need to cook. And I think what I might do is like I might come home, cook, and then go, play like 7, 8, because I'm hoping there'll be people there that I could play with. But that's one of the things that I am loving. Okay, so what we have here is I've cleaned off the sweet potatoes, and I'm just gonna get a knife, and then we're gonna just kind of stab it. And that's probably the hardest part about doing this. Getting some air pockets in here. I'm just gonna go around and stab it. And then we're gonna just put it back in the oven. I didn't get the big, which I was looking for, like the big, sorry, my dishwasher's next to me. I was looking for like the big sweet potatoes so that I can make it into a bowl, but we're gonna just work with what we have, right? At the end of the day, it's doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to come close to it. Yes, pickleball is the new thing. And whew, on Saturday, I took my husband and my son went with me, and we were out there for about 4 hours. I cannot find my Fitbit as of late, but I know I packed in the amount of steps. I know I hit my 15,000 steps, and I absolutely know that I burned calories on Sunday. And then Sunday I went back for about 2 hours. So I know whatever it is happening, it's working. I am excited about playing it. Like, so excited. Okay, so what I've done is I've just put it in the oven. Not all you have to do is remember poke some holes, and then we're good to go. Okay, so now we're gonna make our chili. And remember, we're trying to get as much of our protein in that meat, and we're gonna add some additional things to add extra protein because I'm looking for at least 35 to 40 grams of protein. I worked out this morning. I had a good strength training, 45 minutes of strength training. So I wanna make sure that as I'm losing weight, I do not lose, I'm only losing fat and not muscle, and that's where your protein is gonna come in, okay? All right, so what I have tonight is some ground beef, and I have the 93% lean and the 7% fat. So you want to get the one as close to the higher lean one than you can, if you can. And so this protein alone is 23 grams of protein just in here. Okay. All right. Making chili to me is just a matter of putting a bunch of things in here, but I am going to cut up some veggies to start. I'm going to grab this. I love, love, love onions in my chili. So we're going to cut up some onions, and we're going to cut up some onions. What else do we have? And some garlic and just some raw veggies first, just to give that flavoring. If you've been following me before, or if this is your first time, one of the things you just got to know about me is that I must season my food. I don't care what we're cooking, how healthy it needs to be, it still needs to be seasoned. And for me, seasoning the food is what really gives it the flavor. It gives us the appetite to eat it. And so one of the things that happened when I first got on this journey, to lose weight, a lot of the food seemed so bland. And I was just like, who is eating this? No wonder people, stick with it for like 15 minutes and then they come back, because unseasoned food does not make me want to come back and eat anything like that. So if you're going to follow me, you're going to know that I am all about seasoning the food because that's what's going to want make people want to come back at all and eat. That's what's going to want to make people keep eating it. And for me, it's going to be what I, you know, as I'm doing this, it's going to be what I feel like. If it tastes great, I don't mind eating it. And on top of it, I'm losing weight by eating it, right? So season your food. At the end of the day, that's the point that I'm trying to get here. And you don't have to add a lot of different, sauces and stuff that's going to creep up with calories. You can season it with things like garlic and, as they call it, aromatics. Um, those are the things to me that just brings out all the flavor. So I'm going to cut up a bunch of these things to make my chili because it's not just about putting the meat in there and putting some chili powder all over that. That's not going to go far. So we're going to do that. All right. Have some stuff in here. Hoping to use some. I was hoping my avocado would be ready, but it doesn't look like it is. Okay. Okay, so I have some onions. This is some green onions. Questions? Hey there, sis. What we cooking up today? Joe Schmo. Oh, chili. Nice one, my fave. Yeah, we're doing some chili, but we're going to put it in the sweet potatoes. Like make them a chili bowl, but with sweet potatoes, just to make sure that we're not killing the effects of doing a high protein meal. So I'm using the 93% lean beef, which is going to give me about 23 grams of protein in a serving. And then we're going to add some additional things in there to bump it up because I'm looking to try to get to about 35 to 40 grams of protein in this meal. Okay. I'm going to get some garlic. And right now I've been telling everyone, like, if you want your foods to taste good, don't be afraid to season stuff. Like, it's just, I promise you, you don't have to run away from seasoning if you're trying to have food that tastes good. I think that's the biggest lie we've been told, or maybe just how things come through. But as I said, when I first started looking at different menus and meals that will help me on this weight loss journey, everything seems so unseasoned. I was like, why? Like, what is this about that you don't have to season stuff so that you can enjoy good food? And I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some times you're going to need to make some modification, but seasoning should not be one of those. So I'm going to mince up, just peeling some garlic. I feel like this is one of those things that always goes well. And I'm going to add like something different that you're going to be like, wait. She's adding that to chili, but yes, sir. Because the good thing about cooking for yourself is you know what you like, right? And you know what tastes good for you. So you, at your house, you can cook whatever it is that you want. Never had chili with sweet potatoes. Ready to learn. Yes, it is the sweet potatoes with the chili, the smoked chili. Ooh, you're never gonna want to eat it without it again like that. And I love sweet potatoes. Just like, I think one of the best things about doing a lot of cooking with and trying to like do a lot of cooking, mixing up your ingredients and stuff has been seeing how many things I can make with sweet potatoes. Okay, so this is a piece of ginger. I know, very different, but trust me on this. This aromatics, it's so good. So good with chili. I tried it once. by accident once, and after that I just felt like, oh my gosh, all chili should have this in it. So it's a little piece of ginger, and you're just gonna mince it the same way you mince your, um, the same way you would mince the garlic. Okay. All right. All right. So we are ready to start flavoring our chili. In the oven, if you're just joining me, the sweet potatoes are baking at, I think I have it at 375 degrees. And so that's in there. And now we're going to start making our chili. Remember, we're starting with a base of 23 grams of protein. And the reason I am focused on the protein numbers is because that is what's working to help me lose weight. It's also helping me once you eat meals with a high protein, you're not hungry throughout. You don't have to get up in the middle of the night feeling for a snack. Actually, when I bump up the protein, I 3 meals a day. That's it. You don't need anything extra. Okay. So I'm gonna move you over here. Hopefully my internet does not act up. I had 5 times the garlic in a lot of. I try not to go overboard when cooking for the people, but I'm Italian. Oh my gosh, garlic is like it's. I don't know how people do not like garlic, but I know there are some people who are like, oh, they're not into it. Um, I feel like I have enough, but you can always add more of those things. I like the idea of adding sweet potatoes. I think it will pair well with chili, good flavor combo. Joe, we can never have enough garlic and onions. Okay? Period. Never. But add the ginger. I promise you, this is new, and you're gonna be like, okay, okay, I'm learning something. Okay, have this pot going. Want to make sure it's heated first before we add the olive oil, so that we can keep that nonstick going. So just going to heat that up. In the meanwhile, I'm going to see if I have any other veggies in here that I need to grab. And I don't think so. I think I'm good. Oh, I do. You know what? I do want to add some jalapenos. How do you have chili without jalapenos, right? So I'm gonna grab that. I'm just gonna leave that on the side. In the meanwhile, I'm also going to grab a couple of things. While this heats up, let's talk a little bit of how I'm adding and bumping up what I'm gonna do to bump up the protein. So I'm going to be a couple of things that I need in here. I love chili with beans. Now, some people only like it with red. Some people only like it with black. Some people do the mix. I am the mixer. I love the mixer. So in this, the red, we're going to have 8 grams of protein in a serving of red beans. So remember, we had 23 plus 8. So we're in the 30s now. And then we have 8 grams of protein here. So 16. Okay. Tomatoes only going to give us about 1 gram here. We're going to also add for our dollop of, instead of sour cream, we're going to have a dollop of um, what is this thing called again? Oh, yogurt. Losing it there. Yogurt. Not as much, because a 3/4 cup is a serving, which is 15 grams. So we're going to add a couple of scoops in this, but that's going to give us some more. So we're going to be over 40 grams of protein, which is the goal. Okay. All right. Now, how do you know if your pot is ready and like hot? Remember, it's the little thing you just drop some water and it sizzles. You know you are good to go. So let's begin, and we're going to build the flavor for our chili here. And we're going to just add a little bit of olive oil. just to coat it, nothing much. The good thing is my beef is 93. Oops, sorry, my beef is 93% lean. Okay. So we're going to be already getting down to a lean amount, which is what we need here. All right. Let's get our, I'm going to use a wooden spoon to work with this here. Okay. All right. Before we add our meat, we're going to saute some of this things that we cut up. Okay. Hey, yo boy Coco. Welcome back. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I'm back. I'm back. Nisi says, I see where you're going. Okay. I normally add a little agave. Interesting. Okay. I do add a little bit of sugar in my chili though. Just a little bit. And so we're gonna just get this on medium and get that onions to sweat out a little bit. And remember, if we're trying to keep low calories, we just have to remember, don't overdo it with the oils and stuff, because although the olive oil is healthy for you, that's a little bit of additional calories that you're going to be adding up quickly. So don't worry that this looks a little dry. Remember, you still have a little bit of fat. You got 7% fat that's going to come off of this meat. So don't worry about it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to add our beef. The beef, remember, I'm going to keep counting and harping on the numbers because you got to be intentional about what you're eating when you're looking to do high protein, okay? And just because it says it's high protein doesn't mean it's high protein. You got to be watching what you're doing in there. And so we're just cooking the beef with the veggies, giving it its flavor. And let me tell you, it smells amazing. It smells amazing. But we're about to build this up and get that going. And of course, to cook this, all we're doing is making sure red turns to brown. Keep moving it around if you haven't done this before. It's pretty easy. I haven't put any other spices and stuff in here yet. But it smells divine already. And that's because you have those aromatics, right? You have the ginger, you have your onions, you have the garlic. And so those are your aromatics making that aroma. And it smells great. And then you have some green onions in here. Okay. Beautiful, clean kitchen you have. That's always the first step to diligence. You know what? Who said that? Joe, I'm telling you. Yes, absolutely. If you saw the text from me to the kids today, my kids are on spring break. I told them, hey, I'm gonna go live cooking, and I need you guys to make sure the kitchen is spotless. I cannot start cooking until the kitchen is clean. Like, I don't know how people cook while the kitchen is dirty. And it's always been a thing. Like, I have to come home, cook. If there's things messy, if the kitchen is messy, I have to clean it first, and then I could start cooking. So I swear that's how I do it. I cannot cook in a messy kitchen. Okay, I'm gonna raise the heat a little bit. And do you see how a little bit of that fat is coming off in there? That's good. Okay. All right, now we're gonna start building the chili flavor and adding different things to this to get that chili going. All right. All right, so what we're gonna obviously need I'm gonna get some chili powder. I'm gonna get some cumin. I want some oregano. What else do we need? What else? Chili powder here. Okay. I'm just going to grab. Okay. Bonnie, welcome back. Welcome back. I am making a chili that we're going to top, we'll put over sweet potatoes as like a chili bowl. Okay. Um, so it looks like a lot of the red is going away and a little bit of the fat has left over, which is okay. You know, we're not trying to get rid of everything in life. It's okay for a little bit of fat here. All right, some of the things that I really like in my chili is oregano. And I go ham on the oregano. Dry oregano. I'm going to add some ground cumin. I'm going to add some chili powder. I thought I had a different chili powder here. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to do this one, but I'm going to mix up my chili powder. So this one is like a Safeway brand, or Stonewall. But I bought one today and I'm going to try and see how that one goes. This one, it says Kinder's chili seasoning, wood fire chili. And I figured, you know what? Why not? I hope it's not too, it looks bright red, which is interesting. Smells yummy. And I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. Keep it at medium. Doesn't this look beautiful already? We're just building the seasonings. One of the tricks that somebody told me years ago, instead of putting everything in at the same time, you know, you kind of build it. So you put your dry seasoning in first, and then I'm going to start adding in some of the beans and the water, which would be from the tomato. Okay. One of the things I want to do is I'm going to rinse the beans so I could get some of that sodium off. So I'm going to just have this. I'm going to keep this on a medium heat. And I'm going to step aside for 2 seconds while I pour this in here and I'm able to rinse this over the sink. But I'm still in the kitchen, although you won't be able to see me. And I do this so that, you know, we can get some of that sodium off of our food. We're going to add back sodium anyway, but I don't want this to be, you know, sometimes they have the canned stuff is just tons of sodium in there. And so I'm trying to take care of that. I love kidney beans. I don't know why people make chili without kidney beans. I think it's such a great flavor. It adds depth. I just love it. I love it in chili. And as I said, we're looking at 8 grams of protein by adding this. All right, we're going to lower the heat a little bit. I don't want this to burn. Let this play in here a little bit. And now I'm going to add my black beans. The same thing I'm going to do with the black beans as well. I'm going to pour it in here, rinse it out, take some of that sodium kick off of there. Okay. I'm just going to rinse that in the water. We're going to add back some salt and stuff like that, but we don't want the whole can of salt. Okay. Just to give it a little shake, shake, shake. And now we're adding it to our beans. Now we're looking at another 8 grams of protein in this serving. And this is smelling, oh my God. Okay, so now we need some liquid. After all, it's chili. So we're going to add some liquid in here now. And then we go back in for seasoning and tasting and all of that. Don't be afraid to re-season. Don't be afraid to be like, ooh, something is missing. What is it? And going back in and adding. So I'm just going to poured everything in from the tomatoes in there. One, because I want some of that water, that liquid in there. Because it's chili, right? It's supposed to have a little bit of there. Oof. And then we're going to have to raise the volume on this a little bit. The volume. Raise the heat a little bit. And we're going to need to add some more liquid in here. And then we're going to season and then cover for it to do its magic thing here. Okay. I'm going to add some bone broth. Actually, going to add bone broth as my liquid. And this is going to give me this is 18 grams of 18 grams of protein. And that is for the whole container. This has already been opened. I would say I've only used maybe a few teaspoons. So I'm going to use the full container in here. So probably looking at literally, yeah. Maybe not the full thing because I wanted to cook down a little bit. And so bone broth, the one I'm using, you see how much is that? 18 grams of protein. So if you're looking to add liquid to something, try considering using bone broth if you're trying to get that protein in there. Okay, raising back the heat, getting it to bubbling up. And now it's time to start tasting and see if we have what we want in here. Okay. It's definitely missing some stuff. I'm going to get some more chili powder in here. And it definitely needs some heat. Even though this is saying chili powder is not, it is definitely not hot. So I'm going to cut up some jalapenos in here and get this in here because it needs some heat. It also needs a little bit of salt. I'm going to go in with some black pepper. Let's see some questions here. You want it together. Interesting. Okay. Have you added some cinnamon to your ground beef when it's cooking? No. I could try that. I've never had that one. I added ginger already in the beginning. I don't know if you saw, but I did do ginger as with the garlic and with the ginger with the garlic and onions. Now, I love this consistency that you see here. I love how that is coming together. You can Google them in my state. All right. Dry kidney beans if I plant chili. If not, a mix of canned black beans. They're low on calories in can. Interesting. Okay. If I was making what food, I might put some ginger inside. We did that. Besides, it's some that I might add as well. It's always good to play around with spices and find out what you like for certain dishes. That's what I did and discovered I like ginger sometimes. Yes. Ginger is just, it gives it a kick. You can taste it a little bit. Absolutely love it. I'm going to try your cinnamon though, because that sounds like something that would go really nice with this, or even an allspice. Okay, let's see. I added some salt and stuff like that. That I think I needed that before. Mm, yes. Okay. Couple of things. Maybe a little more oregano. I just love how oregano comes together with chili. And then I'm gonna try the cinnamon. I'm gonna see maybe, and I have seen chili cinnamon called in chili before. I had some cayenne pepper. I'm gonna add a little heat. And then one last thing that I'm gonna do here is this salt-free table blend um, that I do like when I want the flavors to kind of pump up a little bit. Okay, I think we are cooking now. It's not too liquidy. And I'm gonna check. I'm gonna cover this. I like the beans to get even softer in here. It's because garlic gives me stomach. Ginger is a relative of green cardamom and turmeric. Oh, okay. Thanks for the info. Okay, what do you guys think? This looks really good. It's not done. Let's grab um, okay, and that's simmering there. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna leave some of this stuff out because I may want to go ahead and season a little bit the sweet potatoes, but let's check in on those now because that should get ready soon. And one of the things I like to try to do quickly is clean up so that when I'm finished, I don't have a kitchen that looks like a tornado went off. My daughter, when she cooks, I'm like, why does everything have to be out? Like everything. Why can't we put things back as we are finished with them, you know? This is one of the things that drives me a little crazy. Okay. Did you add cinnamon right now as well? I wasn't sure. The cinnamon was, that's what I add. That's what I added. So now we're gonna check. I'm gonna check right now on our sweet potatoes. Okay, I don't think these are ready just yet, but it looks like, ooh, we're probably getting a few minutes away from that. Okay. I'm just gonna bring that up to 400, move that along, you know? But we are almost to the finish line. That is just how easy this comes together. So if you're just joining me, what we made tonight is a high protein meal that is definitely going to be over 45 grams of protein. And the reason I am concentrating on that, you know, you got only in the gym. Okay. So losing weight, though, is not something that I want to, I don't want to have to eat boring food every day. I don't want to have to eat the same chicken and broccoli in 16 different meal prep meals, you know? And so for me, this process, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, has been all about the high protein, low calorie, but meals that make me want to eat, that are delicious, that taste amazing, and that's just bougie like me. So for me, that has been working. Um, I've not given up everything. The only thing I would say I've given up is alcohol during the week. I have a glass of wine on the weekends or a cocktail, but that's about the only thing I can say I've really given up. Um, why didn't you go live? Oh, last week I was just kind of tired last week. It's been a very rough time. I work in the military, so it's just been rough. So I've been coming home and not really in the mood to even cook. But I'll tell you this: it has been also a great experiment in determining whether I can find high protein meals to eat when we do takeout. It's very difficult. It is very difficult to kind of keep that high protein going with low calories when you're getting food from takeout. So, and it hasn't even been great food. Like, we're like, okay, we spend all this money on this. And one, I don't even have food to take to work the next day. And the food didn't taste that great, and it didn't hit the goals that I needed for my meals. I didn't cheat badly, but I was not, like I wasn't full. I didn't feel like amazing food and stuff, and it was just expensive. So this week we are back to cooking because one, it's a way for me to carry food to work. I've been a little more hungrier lately because I haven't had like really high protein meals. And so when you don't have high protein meals, you are going to feel hungry quicker. And then now I'm going to be looking for like, what can I eat quickly? It just throws things off. So I'm back to it. It was a good experiment. It didn't work. And so it's just best if you are, planning your meals and stuff like that. Very easy for anyone to make if they're hungry and want something delicious. People that try to lose weight sometimes struggle which food they're going to eat because it's not easy. My favorite cocktails are Pertney and Espresso Mark. What's Pertney? I've never heard of that one. The espresso martini. I don't really like coffee tasting. I don't like coffee. I don't drink coffee. So I've never really gone down the espresso martini lane. But give me another one that would be good for my health goals. But yes, so that's why I wasn't on last week. And but it also just taught me that hey, it really is best if you just cook your own meals. To be honest with you, um, plan them out a little more in advance, and you won't have to worry about what you're cooking every day. I thought about this on the way home. I felt for some chili because it's kind of chilly here, literally. Even in San Diego, and so I was just like, what can I eat? To what can I make to be able to get something to eat quickly. And I think this is going to be a great one because one, I can also put away my lunch for tomorrow, know that I'm going to hit 45, plus protein in the midday, and that's good for me. I'm going to work out in the morning again, strength training for about 45 minutes, and then have a high protein breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so that's the meal plan for the rest of the week. And when I say meal plan, it's not the same meal. I cannot eat the same thing every day. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people eat that chicken and broccoli for 6 meals. Like, I go crazy. So let's head over and see if our chili is done because um, I think that the sweet potato is done as well. And so this is just checking on this guy. I'm gonna get a cloth so that I don't burn myself lifting. Mm. And I love when it gets thick. This is exactly how the consistency I like my chili. It smells like chili. And of course, you're going to add a couple of little garnishings on this at the top. And so this is going to be perfect. Perfect. What type of garnishing do you guys normally add to your chili? Or you said Pertini, my voice to text wrote it. Oh, okay. Once I retired, I noticed it was easier to manage my meals and exercise routine. It is, I'm sure. I think we just have to, when we're not retired, and there's so many demands on our time, we just have to make the time. For me right now, it's easy at my job. My gym is in the building that I work in, so it's pretty easy to come in the morning and go directly to work out. and then shower there and come. Um, gosh, this is so good. Okay. Now, I was told a little tip about right before you finish your um, chili to add balsamic vinegar. I've never done it before, and I hope I don't ruin my batch, but we're going to try it today. Just a little bit. And I don't know if it's maybe the vinegar or what it is, but someone told me that I had gone, it was a chili cook-off, and they told me one of the things that they add right as their chili is finishing is some balsamic vinegar. Let me see if I taste it in here. Mm. Mm. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna cover this back there and let that work its magic for a little bit. But wow. Okay. So balsamic vinegar and chili. I had never done that before, but I'm not mad. Okay. I'm just going to. Damien is cancer free all after all these blood tests and doctors. I'm finally, yes, congratulations. I usually let the waiter know to tell the bartender to add pineapple juice with pear, and then of course they would rim my glass with cinnamon sugar, which I like that one. Okay, man, you're making me want to go make a cocktail right now. But I have said, you know what, this week, no cocktails. Um, I have a ginger beer here that I think I may make something with, but I have not decided yet what. All right, what I'm going to do as we're finishing up, I am just going to, this is for my garnishing and stuff like that. So I'm going to cut up a little bit. Let me use my same board. I'm going to, just for a little bit of garnishing, we're going to cut up a little bit of, not the white part, but the green part of the green onions. And then you cannot have chili without a little bit of cheese as well. So we're going to do that. Grated, of course. Nisi, you're ahead of me. Cannot have it. I hope that person isn't going to get sick again. Yes, in the name of God, let's praise that. I'm going to need some cheese. And you know, a lot of people put sour cream on their, a dollop of sour cream. We're going to use yogurt, Greek yogurt, okay? And I think our sweet potatoes are done. Oh, yes, I could see them bubbling out. So we are good to go, I think. All right, let's get this out of the oven. Hopefully they're good to go, but we'll cut into it and see. Our chili is done. So let me just close this oven. I'm gonna bring you out here so you can see what's going on. Okay. And where is my fork? Okay. And so this is good to go, actually. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start plating. So what we're going to do is going to grab a bowl. Okay. Please let us know if you taste the cinnamon in a good way. I have tasted it, but we're going to taste it when we put our meal together. So let's go ahead. Um, to be careful because this is super hot. And I'm just going to move this guy out of the way. Okay. And so we're just going to, basically what I'm trying to do here, sorry, is to okay, there we go. Basically what we're trying to do is just get this guy open down the middle. And there we go, like that. So it looks like it's still a little hard in the middle. So see, I could feel it's not all the way done. So I'm gonna have to put these guys back in here. Because what you want is like a fluffy sweet potato in there. And so this is one of those things that you can do way in advance. You know, maybe on Sundays, you just put a bunch of sweet potatoes. And then the next day, the next time you cook it, the chili by itself. So you can kind of prep these in different. I'm going to try one of the smaller ones. I'm sure these, so this one is done. Because that's the biggest one I have here, but this guy is done. So I'm going to put these back in the oven. And let those continue to bake until they're nice and soft. It's like just like cooking a, you know, regular potato. All right, this one went right in. There we go. Ooh. Okay. And so we are good here. Okay. Before I put, I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt, just a little bit, nothing too much, because you already have the seasoning from your chili. And now we're going to add our chili over it. And so, okay. This looks so good right now. Okay. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of our green onions. And while it is piping hot, because you want that cheese to start melting on here, we're going to add some of our grated cheese. All right, don't go too much. Don't overdo it. And then I'm going to add a nice dollop of yogurt, especially if, as I said, instead of adding sour cream. Okay. And so Look at this. It is, oh my goodness. All right, let's get in and taste it. I love how the cheese has started to melt. And get rid of all this stuff. If you have some avocados, I do have a piece of avocado here. It'd be a great thing to add. Some good fats. Hopefully this avocado is still good. Ugh, I hate when this happens. It's like you have to quickly use these things. You have no time, or else they go rotten. And I hate the black. You gotta go. But we're okay. We can go with what we have here. Let's dig in and see. Let's get rid of some of this junk. Okay. And so the sweet potato is all the way at the bottom, but it's soft. Wow. Guys, this tastes so good. It's super hot though. I swear you would, if you put this because my kids don't like yogurt like this, but they wouldn't even realize this is not sour cream. It goes so well with everything here. And on top of it, as I said, over 40, probably 45, I think 45 grams of protein. You got to try this. It's really good. Easy meal, good volume. So you're not going to feel hungry after you eat this. Low calories. Excellent. And super easy to make. Super easy to make. Let me know in the comments if you would try it. What ingredients in here would you keep? Would you change it? Would you add different things to it? And whoever gave me the idea about the cinnamon, amazing. Amazing. Okay, well, I'm gonna make another bowl to put away for my lunch tomorrow, so that I can have a good, healthy, but high protein meal tomorrow for lunch. And it's a wrap. So good. The sweet potato, the sweetness, it's on point. All right, well, thanks for hanging with me. Tomorrow I will be back. I want to make some Thai dishes tomorrow, high protein Thai dishes. Hopefully I've never done those before, the dish I'm going to make, so hopefully I don't mess it up. Damien, so happy to see you around, and so happy that you are cancer free. Puppy Dog Owl, Cinnamon was on point. Thank you so much, your boy Coco, for joining us. Budgetnista, the sweet potato at the bottom of chef's kiss. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you back here tomorrow at 6 o'clock Pacific time, while we make another beautiful, very delicious, but high protein dinner. All right, see you next time. Bye.